Hello, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. Today, we are going to talk about a very important topic. We will discuss how two Arab countries, the United Arab Emirates and Qatar, reacted to Israel and its recent actions. But before we go deep, let me ask you, Daniel, can you please tell us what happened recently that made the world pay attention?
Yes, Sophia, of course. Recently, there have been very strong and painful events in Palestine. Many people lost their lives and many families are suffering. The world is watching these events closely. Countries are reacting, some are supporting Israel, and some are standing with Palestine. Among these countries, the United Arab Emirates and Qatar gave their reactions, and people want to understand them better.
Daniel, I have been hearing so many things in the news recently, and honestly, I feel a little confused. I hear the name of Israel. I hear about Qatar. And I also hear that many Arab countries are very upset. Some people say that Israel carried out an attack in Qatar, but I don't really understand what happened or why it is such a big issue. Can you please explain to me in very simple words what actually happened recently and why everyone is talking about it?
Yes, Sophia, I understand your question, and you are right to ask because this event is very important. Let me explain step by step so it is easy. Recently, Israel carried out a very serious attack inside Doha, which is the capital city of Qatar. In this attack, Israel targeted and killed some important Hamas leaders. Now, this was not a small event, it was something very big, because it happened on the land of Qatar, a country that was not directly at war with Israel. Qatar has always tried to act like a mediator, which means it tries to bring two sides to the table and help them talk. For many years, Qatar has supported peace talks, sent humanitarian aid to Gaza, and tried to play the role of a bridge between different groups. But when Israel attacked inside Qatar, it was seen as a very disrespectful act. It made the government of Qatar feel that Israel ignored its sovereignty, which means its right to control what happens inside its own land. This attack also broke international law because normally no country is allowed to send military action into another country without permission. That is why Qatar was very angry. And not only Qatar. Many Arab countries also felt shocked. They thought, if Israel can attack in Doha today, maybe tomorrow it can attack in their own countries too. So they reacted strongly. In very simple words, Sophia, the event was this. Israel attacked inside Qatar, killed Hamas leaders, and in doing so created a huge political storm. It hurt Qatar's image as a peaceful mediator, it broke international law, and it made many Arab countries feel unsafe and disrespected. This is why it became such a big discussion across the Arab world and the international community.
Daniel, after hearing what you just explained about the attack in Qatar, I am wondering what happened next. I mean, when something so serious happens inside a country, usually the government says something very strong, right? And I also think other countries in the Arab world must have reacted too, because they are always very sensitive when it comes to Israel and Palestine. But to be honest, I don't really know what kind of words they used or how serious their reactions were. So, can you please tell me, in simple words, what Qatar officially said, and also what the other Arab countries said after this attack?
Yes, Sophia, that is a very important question because the first thing countries do after such an event is to give official statements. Qatar reacted very quickly, and its words were very strong. The government of Qatar said that what Israel did was state terrorism. Now, this is a very heavy term. It means Qatar believed Israel used its military power in a way that is similar to how a terrorist group might act. Qatar also said that Israel had broken international law and had no respect for Qatar's sovereignty, which means Israel ignored the right of Qatar to control what happens on its own land. Other Arab countries also reacted. The Arab League, which is a group of many Arab nations, made a statement condemning the attack. They said it was a dangerous crime and a threat to peace in the whole region. The Organization of Islamic Cooperation, which includes Muslim countries from different parts of the world, also gave a strong statement. They said Israel's actions were unacceptable and against all international rules. Some individual leaders from countries like Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and Egypt also gave their own messages. Many of them said that it is time to review ties with Israel, and they even suggested that relations could be reduced or cut if Israel continues acting this way. So, to put it simply, Sofia, Qatar used very strong and emotional words, calling the attack terrorism. The Arab League and the OIC also condemned it, saying Israel was breaking the law and putting the whole region in danger. And many Arab leaders warned that if Israel does not change its behavior, then Arab countries might have to change their relationship with Israel.
Daniel, now I am thinking about something. When countries only use words, sometimes it is not enough, right? I mean, governments can give strong statements and condemn something, but if they don't take real action, then nothing really changes. So, after this attack in Qatar, I am very curious to know, did Qatar or the other Arab countries do anything more than just talking? Did they take any diplomatic steps or maybe economic steps to show Israel that they are serious? Or was it only about speeches and statements? Please explain it to me in simple words.
That is a very good and very logical question, Sophia, because you are right. Words alone are not always powerful enough. After the attack, many Arab countries, including Qatar, started discussing real actions. The first thing they talked about was diplomatic relations. Some countries began reviewing their ties with Israel. This means they started thinking, should we continue normal relations or should we reduce them? Should we keep embassies open or should we close them? These are serious questions, and many governments began to study them carefully. The second step was economic pressure. Some Arab leaders suggested that they could limit trade with Israel or stop certain business deals. Others talked about boycotts, which means encouraging people not to buy Israeli products. Economic tools can be very strong because Israel depends on trade with other countries. The third action was legal steps. Qatar and several other countries said that Israel's attack was not only wrong but also illegal. They talked about taking the case to international courts, like the International Criminal Court. They believe Israel should be held responsible for war crimes and crimes against humanity. This is important because once a case is taken to such courts, it becomes an international issue, not just a regional one. So, Sophia, to answer your question, simply, yes, Arab countries did more than just talk. They started to review diplomatic ties, they considered economic pressure, and they looked at legal actions in international courts. This showed that they were serious and that they wanted Israel to know there could be real consequences for this attack.
Daniel, can you please explain in a simple way how the United Arab Emirates and Qatar reacted in terms of security and defense after the recent events with Israel?
Yes, Sophia. After the recent events in Palestine, both the United Arab Emirates and Qatar became very serious about security and defense. They were afraid that the conflict could create more problems in the region. For example, they worried about protests in their countries, cyber attacks on their systems, or small groups trying to cause violence. The UAE decided to use modern technology to stay safe. They bought drones, cameras, and cyber systems, and some of this technology even came from Israel. This gave them strong tools to protect their country, but many Arab people did not like this choice because they felt the UAE was becoming too close to Israel while Palestinians were suffering. Qatar chose a very different way. Instead of buying defense technology from Israel, Qatar used diplomacy and strong friendships. They invited American forces to have a big military base inside Qatar, and they worked closely with Turkey and other friendly countries. Qatar believed that safety comes from making powerful friends and from political talks, not just from weapons. So, to make it very clear, the UAE trusted defense technology, even with help from Israel, while Qatar trusted diplomacy, connections, and international support. Both countries wanted the same thing, to protect their people, but they used very different methods to do it.
Daniel, Can you please tell us what challenges and criticisms the United Arab Emirates and Qatar faced after their reactions to Israel and Palestine?
Yes, Sophia. Both the United Arab Emirates and Qatar faced many challenges and a lot of criticism after their reactions. For the UAE, the biggest challenge was that many Arabs felt angry because the UAE had normal relations with Israel and even used Israeli defense technology. People said, "How can you be close to Israel when Palestinians are suffering?" This created pressure on the UAE's leaders. They wanted to protect their country and grow their economy, but they also had to listen to the voice of Arab people who strongly support Palestine. For Qatar, the challenge was different. Qatar gave money and political support to Palestine, but some countries accused Qatar of supporting groups that cause violence. This created tension with other Gulf states in the past, and it made Qatar look like it was choosing sides too strongly. Another challenge for both countries was balance. They needed to keep good relations with the United States, with Arab neighbors, and with the world, while also showing that they cared about Palestinians. It is not easy to make everyone happy at the same time. So, in simple words, the UAE was criticized for being too close to Israel, and Qatar was criticized for being too close to Palestine. Both of them faced the big challenge of balance, how to protect their people, keep their friends, and still show support in a very sensitive conflict.
Daniel, can you please explain what the future might look like for the United Arab Emirates and Qatar in their relations with Israel and Palestine?
Yes, Sophia. The future for the United Arab Emirates and Qatar depends on many things. For the UAE, the future will likely continue with cooperation with Israel in areas like trade, tourism, and defense. They believe that working with Israel will bring them new technology, strong business opportunities, and international respect. But at the same time, the UAE must be very careful because many Arab people still feel angry when they see any friendship with Israel. If the violence in Palestine continues, the UAE will face more pressure to reduce its ties with Israel. For Qatar, the future is different. Qatar will most likely continue to support Palestinians with money, aid, and political talks. They want to show the world that they care about justice for Palestine. At the same time, Qatar will try to stay friendly with powerful countries like the United States, Turkey, and other allies because this gives them protection and respect. Both the UAE and Qatar have to walk on a thin line. They want to keep their people safe, they want to grow their economies, and they want to play a strong role in world politics. The future will not be easy because every step they take brings both support and criticism. In simple words, the UAE may move forward with Israel for modern growth, and Qatar may stay close to Palestine for moral support, but both countries will face the big challenge of balance in the years to come.
Daniel, thank you so much for sharing all this information with us. It was very clear and very helpful.
Thank you, Sophia, and thank you to all our listeners for staying with us till the end. We hope you learned something new today.
Yes, and if you enjoyed this podcast, please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with your friends.
Your support means a lot to us. See you again in the next episode. Stay safe and take care.